Most men don't lose weeks or months with a woman because they picked the wrong person. They lose time because they refuse to ask one simple question. They stay chill. They act like clarity is pressure. They tell themselves they're being relaxed and masculine. They don't want to be the guy who pushes. They don't want to scare her off. They don't want to look needy. So they never define the relationship, and instead of becoming unbothered, they become quietly anxious. Because when you avoid clarity, you don't get peace. You get uncertainty. You get late replies that make you read into everything. You get mixed signals that drain your focus. You get a situation where you're giving boyfriend effort while she keeps the freedom of being single. You get emotional investment without terms. And the worst part is you don't even notice the trap forming until you're already attached. That's why calm men define the relationship early. Not with pressure, not with ultimatums, not with emotional speeches, not with what are we, energy that sounds like you're begging to be chosen, with clarity, with standards, with calm. Because the real flex isn't being the guy who never asks. The real flex is being the man who can ask directly without needing the answer to go his way. Today, I'm going to show you how calm men define the relationship without killing attraction. The DTR talk that earns respect instead of lowering your value. And the mindset that keeps the conversation clean, simple, and masculine so you don't turn a normal adult question into a negotiation for love. We're covering 3 things. 1, why most men avoid defining the relationship and how that avoidance quietly costs them respect. 2, the calm way to define the relationship without pressure. 3, what to do based on her answer, because this is where men either keep their value or lose it. Let's start with the truth. Part 1, why men avoid the DTR talk. Men avoid defining the relationship for one reason: fear. Fear of rejection, fear of looking needy, fear of losing her, fear that asking will change the dynamic, fear that the moment he makes it real, it'll fall apart. But here's what you need to understand. The dynamic is already changing. You're just letting it change without you. If you don't define the relationship, she will, and she'll define it in the way that benefits her most. Not because women are evil, not because she's plotting, because human beings do what works. People take what they're allowed to take. People accept the deal that requires the least responsibility and gives the most reward. If you give someone boyfriend energy with no commitment, many people will accept the benefits. If you give someone exclusivity without asking for it, they'll enjoy it and keep their options open. If you invest time, attention, consistency, emotional support, loyalty, and access without terms, you've created an unspoken agreement. You carry the weight, she keeps the freedom. Then you wonder why you feel off. You start telling yourself you're overthinking. But you're not overthinking. You're underdefining. Most men don't suffer because they care. They suffer because they're caring inside a situation they refuse to label. They want relationship security while pretending they don't. They want exclusivity while acting like they're above it. They want commitment outcomes without commitment conversations. That split creates anxiety, and women feel that split too. Because uncertainty doesn't only confuse you, it changes your behavior. You start monitoring, you start interpreting, you start guessing, you start trying to read her tone like a code. You start behaving like someone who needs reassurance without admitting it. That's why avoiding clarity is not calm. It's passive. Calm men don't do passive. Calm men understand something most men miss. Clarity is not pressure. Clarity is leadership. And leadership is attractive. A man who can calmly say, "This is what I'm building. Are you building the same thing?" isn't needy. He's decisive. And decisiveness triggers respect. Now, here's why this talk can actually increase attraction when it's done correctly. Because women don't respect confusion. They tolerate it when it benefits them. They respect standards. They respect direction. They respect a man who knows what he wants and doesn't apologize for it. They respect a man who is willing to walk away from misalignment instead of negotiating himself into a half relationship. So if you've been waiting for the perfect moment to ask, understand what waiting often communicates. The longer you wait, the weaker you look. Not because time is bad, but because avoidance signals uncertainty. A man who avoids clarity often looks like a man who doesn't have direction, doesn't have standards, and is hoping she chooses him without him having to take a stand. And no matter how cool you try to act, she can feel it. Because men who don't want labels usually do want labels. They just want her to ask first so they don't have to risk rejection. That's not calm confidence. That's fear disguised as chill. So let's define the goal. The goal of the DTR talk is not to force her into a decision. The goal is to stop gambling with your time. It's to remove confusion early so you can either build properly or exit cleanly before you invest months into a situation that was never going where you thought it was going. Now, let's talk about what calm looks like. Part 2, how calm men define the relationship without pressure. The secret is simple. Calm men don't ask for commitment like they're requesting a favor. They state their direction like a man who has standards. They don't beg. They don't plead. They don't argue. They don't threaten. They don't try to win the conversation. They communicate what they're building and invite alignment. Here's the mindset shift that makes everything easier. You are not asking her to be yours. You are checking compatibility, and compatibility checks are normal. If you're dating, sleeping together, spending time consistently, building routines, sharing emotional space, clarity is not some dramatic moment. Clarity is basic adult communication. Now, the reason men fail this conversation is because they bring the wrong energy into it. They bring need. They speak like they're afraid of the answer. They phrase it like they're asking permission to be respected. They go into the conversation hoping she chooses them, and that hope leaks through their tone. Calm men don't do that. They go into the conversation prepared for either outcome. They know what they will do if she says yes. They know what they will do if she says no. They know what they will do if she stays vague. That's the difference. The calm man doesn't fear the answer because he already decided his standard. So, how do you define the relationship without pressure? 3 steps. 1. Choose the timing correctly. 2. Speak with calm certainty, not emotional need. 3. Frame it as alignment, not control. Let's break them down. Step 1, timing. Don't do it on the first date. Don't do it after one great night. Don't do it the morning after sex. Don't do it during an argument. Don't do it when you're already triggered or anxious. Timing matters because it changes how your words land. The best time is when the connection is consistent but undefined. Usually after a few weeks of regular dating, when you've gathered enough data to know you'd want exclusivity, but before you're deeply attached and afraid to lose her. You don't wait until you're addicted. You ask while you're still clear. And here's a simple principle that keeps men safe. Ask for clarity before your investment outgrows the truth. Most men do the opposite. Their feelings grow first, then they ask for truth later. That's why the answer hurts so much. Calm men flip it, truth first, then investment. Step 2, calm delivery. Your tone matters more than your words. If your voice sounds like, please choose me, you lose. If your voice sounds like, I'm building something, are you in? You win. Same sentence, different energy. This is why calm men don't do DTR talks in a shaky mood. They do it when they can be steady. They sit back. They keep their pace slow. They speak like the answer won't break them. They don't rush. They don't over-explain. Your tone should communicate one thing, self-respect. Not arrogance, not coldness, self-respect. Step 3, alignment language. Here's the script. You can use it word for word. I like what we've been building. I date with intention. I'm not interested in vague or halfway. If we keep seeing each other, I want it to be exclusive. If you're not there, that's fine. But I'm not going to keep investing like it's serious when it isn't. Then you stop talking. That pause is important because most men sabotage themselves after they ask. They start negotiating, they soften their standard, they backtrack. They try to reassure her. They keep talking until the conversation becomes a plea. Calm men don't do that. They say it once, they let her answer. Now notice what that script does. It doesn't beg, it doesn't demand, it doesn't accuse, it doesn't pressure, it doesn't trap, it doesn't shame her. It simply states your standard and your direction. And a woman who respects you will respect that, even if she says no, because you didn't come like a boy asking for permission. You came like a man setting terms for his time. Here's a shorter version that's even cleaner. I'm enjoying this, I'm not seeing other people. Are you? Simple, direct, no drama. Now, important detail. You don't ask this with nervous energy. You ask it like it's normal, because it is normal. And if a woman acts like the question itself is a crime, she's telling you she benefits from confusion, which brings us to the next part. Part 3, how calm men respond to her answers. There are only a few answers you'll hear. Each one gives you a clear action, and the real power isn't the talk. It's what you do after she answers. Because men lose value when they ask for clarity, hear something they don't like, then continue investing anyway. They teach her that their standard isn't real. So let's go through the main answers. Answer 1, yes, I want that too. Good. Now you confirm it simply. Good. Same. Let's do it properly. No celebration, no over-relief, no acting like you just won a prize. Because calm men treat alignment like normal life, not a miracle. Then you continue building, slowly, consistently, with standards, and you watch behavior, not words. Even a yes should be followed by consistency. The goal is not to win a label. The goal is to build a stable relationship with mutual effort. Answer 2, I'm not ready. This is the most common answer, and this is where most men start bargaining. Okay, take your time. I'll wait. No pressure. It's fine. We can keep doing what we're doing. Then they keep giving boyfriend energy, keep investing, keep hoping, and she keeps receiving. Benefits without responsibility. Calm men don't do that. Here's the calm response. I respect that. I'm not asking you to rush, but I'm also not building a half relationship. If you're not ready for exclusivity, we can keep it light, or we can end it. I'm not going to keep investing like it's serious while you decide. Then you watch behavior. Because I'm not ready can mean 2 different things. 1, she genuinely likes you but needs a little more time to trust. 2, she wants to keep options open while keeping you as a safe base. How do you tell? Effort and consistency. If she truly likes you, she will increase clarity and increase effort and act more respectful after that conversation. She won't punish you for having standards. If she wants options, she'll stay vague. She'll keep you in limbo. She'll push back on exclusivity, but still want relationship benefits. And that's the trap. She wants to receive, not commit. When you see that pattern, you don't argue. You reduce investment or you exit. Answer 3. Why do you need labels? That's usually a deflection, because labels aren't the real issue. Accountability is. When someone says labels stress me, what they often mean is, I want the freedom of being single while enjoying the support of a relationship. Here's the calm response. It's not about labels, it's about terms. I'm not interested in building something where expectations are unclear. If you want something casual, say that clearly. If you want something real, say that clearly. Then silence. Let her define herself. Because a woman who avoids clarity is telling you she benefits from confusion. And if she benefits from confusion, she will protect confusion. That means you'll keep paying emotionally while she keeps staying uncommitted. Calm men don't fund confusion. Answer 4, anger, shaming, or calling you insecure. If she says, you're controlling, you're insecure, why are you trying to trap me? You're moving too fast. Men like you are the problem. That's not a woman protecting peace. That's a woman protecting options. A healthy woman can say no without attacking you. If she shames you for asking a normal adult question, thank her silently. She just revealed her character. Here's the calm response. I'm not controlling you. I'm choosing what I participate in. We want different things. I wish you well. Then you leave. No argument, no paragraphs, no trying to convince her you're a good man. Calm men don't prove themselves to women who shame standards. They exit. Because the moment you start defending your standards, you turn your standards into something negotiable, and that destroys respect. The most important part, what you do after this, is where men separate into 2 groups. Men who earn respect, men who get used. Most men have the talk and then ignore the result. They hear, I'm not ready, and they stay. They hear, labels stress me, and they keep investing. They hear vagueness, and they keep acting serious. Then months later, they get hurt and say, she led me on, but you stayed after she told you who she was, not through words, through the outcome. Your words mean nothing if your actions contradict them. Calm men don't do speeches. Calm men do alignment. If you say you don't do vague, then you don't do vague. If you say you date with intention, then you move with intention. If she wants casual, you either accept casual with low investment or you walk away. But you do not do that toxic middle zone where you pretend you're casual while you're emotionally committed. That is where men lose themselves. And once you lose yourself, you start trying to win her back with effort. Then you become predictable. Then you become easy to manage. Then you lose respect. Why this earns respect? A woman respects a man who can risk losing her because it signals 2 things. 1, he has self-respect. 2, he has a life that doesn't collapse if she leaves. And when I say options, I don't mean other women. Options are deeper than that. Options are purpose, mission, routine, brotherhood, fitness, work, peace, a life that's already full. When you have that, you can ask for what you want without fear. And that energy is what women feel. They don't respect the man who is cool with anything. They respect the man who is calm, clear, and willing to walk. Because cool with anything often means I'm afraid to lose you. And women don't respect fear. They may tolerate it, they may even benefit from it, but deep respect doesn't grow in that soil. Respect grows where a man has standards and follows them, a point that saves men years. You don't define the relationship to lock her down. You define the relationship to protect your investment. Because men invest heavy once they like a woman. Time, money, attention, consistency, emotional support, loyalty. If you don't protect that investment with clarity, you're gambling. And most men don't realize they're gambling until they lose. Calm men don't gamble with their time. They clarify early. And the moment you start moving like that, your whole dating life changes. You stop being a man who hopes. You stop being a man who waits. You stop being a man who guesses. You become a man who chooses. That shift is the entire game. Because the truth is, the man who can calmly walk away from confusion is the man women take seriously. Not because he's cruel, because he's clear. Final reminder. Defining the relationship isn't pressure, it's leadership. Leadership isn't loud, it isn't aggressive, it isn't controlling, it's clarity. If she's the right woman, she'll respect it. If she's not, she'll resist it. Either way, you win because you get truth early. If you want more calm tools like this, boundaries, clarity, emotional control, modern dating reality, subscribe and comment this below. Clarity wins. Because men who win in dating are not the men who talk the most. They're the men who move with standards.